Hello and welcome to this new episode of inConversation. Today we have not one but two important guests with us. First is Mr. Dinesh Tyagi, a former bureaucrat who is now the CEO of CSC VLE network in the country. Along with him, we have Smita Bhagat, Group Head HDFC Bank. And today we'll have very interesting discussion on how CSC VLE and HDFC Bank have transformed life of hundreds and thousands of people in rural and semi-urban areas because of this very good partnership between CSC VLE and HDFC Bank over the last 2 years. I would like to know from Tyagi sir what kind of initiatives CSC VLE is taking across the country with HDFC Bank.
Thank you very much, Sanjay, for inviting me, and thank you, Smita for inviting me to share what is being done across the country in associations with HDFC through the Common Service Center networks. COVID-19 has thrown large number of challenges. There are also thrown large number of opportunities. First, of course, the challenges were that many of the common service centers were not allowed to open in the first phase. But after the first phase, suddenly we did try and got the interventions from the Home Ministry and our ministry, and try and saw that all the common service centers can start functioning. The second phase of the notification which came was that allowed common service centers to start operating and functioning and delivering services with, of course, the permission from the local authority and local administration. So this is how the journey began. And one of the things which HDFC has helped quite a lot is one of the big challenges during the COVID was Government of India, under the various schemes which were announced, has transferred money to a large number of people. There were Jan Dhan account holders, which are about 20 crores. There were Ujjwala beneficiaries, who were about 8 crores. And there are a similar number of other incentives provided to farmers, the farmers' installment of 9 crores. 37 crore people, the cash was disbursed into the accounts. So the cash was transferred, but it was difficult for people in the villages to draw that money. So the SDFC framework, which helped quite a lot wherever we have the BC with the SDFC, was enabling people to at least know whether the money has been transferred to the account and also withdraw. The other beneficiaries were pension holders and, of course, the handicapped people who also were transferred money on behalf of the government, and they wanted to use this money in crisis time. The advantage of Common Service Center is that the village level entrepreneur in such cases goes to the house of the person and through a system or disperse the money to them. This has really benefited a fairly large chunk of population who in this period of time was unable or were not even allowed to go to the branch. SDFC relationship with common service centers benefit large communities across the country for getting the benefit withdraw which has been transferred to their accounts by the government in various schemes and programs.
As you said, Tyagi, the most important thing was to make the benefits of the government reach the last person. So how this social distancing was maintained and ensured?
In addition to our association with the SDFC, the Common Service Centers has also actively participated in promoting and creating awareness about the various steps need to be taken by the community for dealing with COVID-19. One of the things which Government of India assigned to us was to enable people to download the Arogya Setu app. So these entrepreneurs help the village people in downloading Arogya Setu app. So far, about more than 3 crore of the Arogya Setu app has been downloaded through the Common Service Network. Also, the women entrepreneurs or women CSC operators who are working in villages have made masks out of the clothes and distributed free to the communities where they live in. So about 70 lakhs of the mask has been distributed. Some have distributed even the sanitizers, distributing masks, distributing sanitizers, and in addition, where there is a need, many of the common service centers, a large number of them have distributed food. So these three things in any case is done to help the communities. Creating awareness was one of our objectives. So social distancing and wearing masks and trying following precautions in case you have problems was the mandate given to us, and we have done it across the country through the common service centers. The point is mentioned that when they are going to disburse the money, do they follow? One of the precautions they take is they themselves wear a mask. The precautions are taken, precautions are sent to them in detail, explained to them in various formats. Besides the challenges you also mentioned about, we have also one of the opportunities, a huge opportunity which came in our way, was through Common Service Center. In urban area, fortunately, there are opportunities. People can place an order online, and then there are people who can supply. In rural areas, it is very difficult because there are no platforms available in order to help communities to buy essential goods. So we started this program called CSC Gramin e-Store, and the CSC Gramin e-Store is actually evolved because of meeting the basic needs of community during the COVID-19 period. So this is an opportunity for us, and we are very close to doing 1 lakh of these Grameen stores. The point which our Honorable Prime Minister said, make local and be vocal, I think that's been fulfilled quite a lot, because many of these people are making local things, local items, and then supplying within the communities. So it's a very simple operation. The CSC operator become a business shop, and the community can download the app for placing order from the various products. So almost everything which the community need during these times and unable to go to the market and buy them, the common service centers operators, the Grameen e-stores have really fulfilled that gap and helped quite a lot. And of course, there are a lot of employment being generated in the sense that for supplying the material, you need people. So they engage 2-3 people who will go and supply the material and then get it done. We need to associate and take some help from HDFC in order to take it forward and make it a real movement for long term. Because we do believe that in the rural India, it is difficult for any large player to go. So we will fill up the gaps of the local material procurement, and the farmers can sell his goods, which the CSC operator can buy and meet the logistic requirement of supplying to the customers within the area. This is an opportunity which came because of COVID. We were thinking of it, but I think it would take a little longer time for us to establish the whole thing. And during the short period of about 1.5 months, 2 lakh of the orders have been supplied, and materials for more than about 7 crore has been distributed through the Grameen e-store. Our ambition is to make 2 lakh Grameen e-stores and employ about 5 people. So about 1 million people will get jobs to the Grameen e-stores across the country. That's our objective.
I vividly remember last year, one of our VLEs had bought a Mercedes Benz. In the current context, can you think of any such instance where a stakeholder, whether it's a VLE or a customer, would have benefited like this from our arrangement?
After the second notification from Ministry of Home Affairs had been allowed, we are seeing the uptake on loans by various people. We have one person who has sold about 3 tractors in Tamil Nadu, and there are people who are now buying cars. We have got a few cases of our customers are really able to sell cars to the citizen. But you will appreciate that COVID has given a setback to buying these vehicles. It's picking up, but it just started. One of the new schemes which has been launched by the HDFC, and we are grateful to HDFC, where they're saying that for women, the 2-wheelers can be purchased at a very fairly reasonable conditions, both in terms of interest and otherwise. Similar scheme has been also announced by the HDFC for implementation for the village level entrepreneur. We do believe that because of our Grameen store, our village level entrepreneur will need not only one, but 2-3 of these 2-wheelers. There will be a large number of the village level entrepreneurs who will start buying for themselves 2-wheelers and use wherever there is a Grameen store. So we are also speaking to us basically and telling them, if you are setting up a Grameen store, there is a necessity for you to also build up infrastructure in order to take the business forward. We're also working with some of the logistic companies. I just mentioned COVID has given us a setback. Before the COVID, we had done phenomenally well through SDFC Association in promoting buying cars and scooters and tractors. But suddenly there was, because of the lockdown, there was some impact, and last fortnight we are again seeing the starting work in relation to these items, and hopefully with some more advocacy, some more aggressiveness, we should be able to try and do some work.
While this is no secret how our association with CSCs has positively impacted lives in rural India, can you cite a few examples here for the benefit of our viewers?
HDFC has been a great support for CSC, and thanks to Mr. Puri, Smita, Bhagat, and your team, they've been a great motivator. They've been supporting quite a lot. Our digital village program, which started actually initiated first time with the HDFC support, and then of course Government of India picked up the scheme, started doing something of that nature. But look at the HDFC support system, that they believe that it is true for us to try and create something in the villages, and that's why digital village. So we are 2,500 digital villages supported by HDFC, and these villages are done phenomenally well. All the activity which happened in this village, whether it's mask making, whether it's advocacy, happened because this is a digital village supported by HDFC. HDFC has also supported us for doing digital village in entire district, in 3 districts. We started the program, and because of COVID, there is some gap, and hopefully we should be able to complete and create really a good model for the entire country, that you can, through digitization, you can convert the village economy into a format, as you mentioned, which will be as good and also can help and address issues of migration from villages to urban areas. Our objective is also to create some activity in the rural India where people can use it. Work for home, our minister has said this, that common service centers for villages should become centers for work for home. You can go to CSC centers and operate and start working for it. The HDFC has been a great support for CSC, and we can't forget our relationship is something more meaningful than only sanctioning loans and getting other part of the story. HDFC is a great organization in supporting something which government wanted to do and fits into the system of empowering communities and enabling citizens to access services which they will need in order to address issues on income generation.
What's been the journey like so far, and how do you see the future from here?
Thank you, Neeraj, and thank you, Tyagi-ji, for all the kind words and kind words you spoke about association of HDFC and CSC. Neeraj, I would like to bring here that, people talk about adoption of technology in rural areas, and they talk about while in rural areas people smartphone penetration is increasing, people are using data, etc. But how have we used technology for development and empowering the rural area? And I think CSC and HDFC partnership is a great example where technology has been used to reach out to the last mile in the country with all banking products. Due to technology integration with CSC, today HDFC is in a position through the VLEs to extend all the asset and liability and payment products to the common citizens or to the people living in villages, semi-urban, rural areas. So this partnership actually is very, very unique, and I think in next few months, or I would say next few years, this will be a partnership where people will talk about how public-private partnership can bring development and bring in ease in rural areas as far as banking is concerned. Like HDFC Bank is always known to find opportunity in challenges. When the lockdown started and when government and RBI wanted BCs to become fully operational to make sure that banking services are available to everyone. Today, as I speak, we have done more than 25 to 30 lakh transactions through our BCs, and more than 100 crores worth of transactions have been done. And that has happened only because, both the companies, both the employees of the companies believe in each other and have worked together to make this happen. We are all seeing, as the lockdown is easing, uptake and government's focus in rural segment. We are seeing in last 15 days, as Tyagi-ji also said, a demand for tractor loan coming in, two-wheelers coming in. The partnership is growing, and I'm sure will continue to grow and strengthen to make, to partner with the government in growing our rural economy. And e-Grameen stores, what CSC has done, I think it's a path-breaking concept, because that is how in rural areas, when we talk about local ko vocal karo. So that is where, people, whatever is grown in rural areas, they are actually bringing it to the customers through this e-Gramin store. And you will be surprised and amazed that this entire thing is done on a mobile app. That how VLEs upload the products available, how the customers can order and how they deliver. And anyone who does this business obviously needs a bank. And that is where we want to partner and make sure that they get all the support. Going forward, all the e-Gramin stores get their banking needs fulfilled from the bank. And I hope for the best.
My question is, any particular digital platforms or technology that you look or rather that you think can be deployed or are being deployed in the rural areas through CSC and or through e-Gramin?
So, Rajiv, I say that he is very advanced in terms of adopting technology, in terms of execution technology and using technology to, create entrepreneurship. If you see, the entire model of CSC is actually on digital platform. And that is where it was so much more easier for HDFC to integrate with them and take the products to the last mile in the country. To be very honest, in this partnership right now, no external vendor is required.
Tyagi sir said that we are planning to have around 2 lakh CSC e-Gramin stores, and he also needs help from the bank to strengthen the network and bank to be the partner in that. Tyagi sir, this I think will be something of, we can say, like Amazon or Flipkart for rural India.
The Grameen e-store in any case are unique. You did name some e-commerce platform. I'm not going to name because unique in the sense we are not in competition. Nobody goes to rural India. None of the name which you mentioned has ever gone to rural India and in future unlikely go to rural India. So that space is vacant and therefore CSC Grameen e-store will fill up the space which nobody is occupied and in our view is unlikely to occupy. So this is a huge opportunity. In addition, there are a large number of other players who might use the CSC logistic tank in order to deliver product rather than creating their own logistics. So CSC Grameen e-store will do local product sale, local procurement, and also meet the logistic requirements of big players. So the both segments in that area can be completed and fulfilled by the common service center. So it's a great synergy. The banking requirement for this is because every transaction needs financial. For the time being, we have not put any of these banking systems into the CSC Grameen e-store. We do largely cash on delivery. Our belief is that for the present, we have 1 lakh of these which are likely to come up. If there are 200 customers in each of them, we get 2 crore of the customers. 2 crore customers being serviced through this network on almost everyday basis, which is what? And they will need some support system in order to make payment. We also want to do electronic payment and not take cash. Presently also we don't insist on cash. It's called cash on delivery, but it's actually not physical cash. We will use some system with support from HDFC where these Grameen stores can use the payment mechanism in order to pay. The customer can pay to the same system to the Grameen store. So the entrepreneur's behavior, both in terms of cash flows and in terms of business, what he's doing will be known to the bank. Bank will be able to try and make judgments in order to create more assets for him, both in terms of local inventory, also go downs, also for hiring spaces in order to deliver those goods and services. So we do believe that this is going to be really transformative and we are not in competition with anybody. Us is a unique space. HDFC supported us in something like sanitary pad making things in rural India. Our common service centers has large stocks of what they've built in, so they're given free to them wherever we have about 1,000 of units and largely supported by HDFC. And these women had distributed sanitary pad. So they are phenomenal work, and this is a great story. And this credit should go to Smita ji because she was one who tried and help us in doing it. One of the other things which we have done is to educate, to create opportunity for children who are not able to go to school and read. So we launched something called a CSC Olympiad from class 3 to class 12 in almost 3 to 4 subjects. And it is surprising that we got 1 lakh registration done. And this is all rural. That's an amazing.
Smita, my question to you is particularly related to the MyApp range of products. Can you take us through this particular range, keeping in mind the entire lockdown and the pandemic?
Thank you, Rajiv. A very good question, because see our my range of products is for urban local bodies, for societies, for religious institutions, and you see that in these times the society, people living in flats, people living in societies, we actually had our mobile ATMs which were visiting these societies, and there we spoke about what are the facilities, etc. The My Apps can bring the members of the society the convenience which it can bring for doing their daily or monthly transactions. So My Society app has generated very good response in these times when you know that all the religious institutions are closed, and by and large, you know that in India, religion is a way of life, irrespective of the communities. I mean, religion is very important part of everyone's life. So My Prayer app, our first went live, Mathura Jain Temple, which is a very, very well-known temple. We have, in these times, almost 300 temples and religious institutions have showed interest, because when people will not be able to visit, they actually will be able to do live darshan, etc., and actually donate also online to their temples of their choices, or to the religious institutions where they have faith. Also, if you see that, urban local bodies, panchayats have been very active in terms of meeting requirement for common citizens, and they have been wanting online solutions. So that also we have been providing. So My Apps has been a good this thing initiative by the bank. And in these times when everybody is adopting more and more online solutions, for these segments also, it's proving to be really, meeting customers' requirement.
Now, the COVID and the lockdown, has, I mean, something or the other, all of us have learned from it. My question is to both of you. What has been the learning for you?
Neeraj, change is the only constant thing we have in life. I mean, this COVID has actually, made us learn and unlearn a lot of things. I mean, the new normal, the new way of working, the new way of looking at things, and how businesses are going to change, how our way of working is going to change. The focus on rural economy, finding out opportunities there. These are some of the interesting things which have come up. I would say, starting from work from home, I think this is a very interesting change. Point number two, the way of doing business is going to see a big change. How technology will play a very important role, how customer behavior is going to change, and how soon we are able to adopt our products and offerings and re-engineer them to suit their requirements. And how do we actually look at opportunities? Some businesses will see, drastic change or great opportunities. For example, we have been an agri economy, but now the way, in next 18 to 24 months, the way agri and rural segment will be seen would be very, very interesting. I would like to see positive things. I would believe that this is going to get over very soon. We all have to go on. Life has to go on.
It will be the different world completely after COVID. Even social values will change, behavior patterns of people will get redefined, and of course the working conditions are already officially our minister has said work from home will become a norm. That is one area. Of course, for the villages, etc., Gram Swaraj, Atmanirbhar Bharat, local being vocal are the three norms which are being emphasized by the government. And agriculture will definitely have a different say. Our Prime Minister's ambition of doubling the income will get fulfilled. I think it's an opportunity for us to try and create those values. We have also set up what is called a Kisan E-Mart. Unfortunately, the law is now changed. You don't have to sell to mandis. Kisan can directly sell to the platform. We have this platform now built in, and we are doing a pilot in Maharashtra. And after we establish, and then we can roll it out. So the farmer can directly sell. He can also sell the crop the moment is grown. So therefore, advantage to farmer. And he will have a choice. He can still go to a mandi, but he can sell to the platform. These reforms this time, because of the crisis, are going to be very significant. Into the HDFC, of course, can become a leader in showing examples to others that how things will improve, even if they sat back for some period of time. And we do believe that education, health, agriculture are three sectors which will see drastic change in terms of what we deliver. And of course, the government service delivery format will get redefined. One thing which we've been talking for many years was why not government service cash on delivery? Why should somebody go to a government office at all? And what a redefining of things. It will happen. It is now going to happen that for anything you need from government, you don't have to go to government office. Just fill up your details, send it across, it will come back to you. And you can pay whatever fees they prescribe for. That will be the real transformation. I don't think any issues in creating jobs. The migrant labor will continue to be an area of concern for the government. And we are trying to work with government to try and resolve first their identification, enrollment, and trying and do something. We also launched a program called CSC Gramin Naukri portal. This is basically for unskilled people. And we're going to link this with the other players who need labor. So at least the exploitation of labor which is happening in our present system will get contained to that extent. And we should be able to bargain better terms and conditions for their living and support. COVID will transform India and make it a real global power and give its due share in the entire world economy.
Thank you so much, both Tyagi and Smita. We seem to have come to an end of this fascinating conversation, and I at least I can assure it, that I was as spellbound while I was listening to you both. Opportunities are indeed infinite, as we learned from Tyagi sir and you, Smita. And it's only a matter of pride for us, as a bank to be the chosen partner for Tyagi sir's initiative. So thank you so very much.